It is the News Blitz with Randy Wang on Talk Radio 790 KABC. We're here every single day from 5 to 6 talking about the local issues that matter to you most and taking your phone calls at 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222, your emails at randykabc@gmail.com, and search for the KABC News Blitz wherever you get your podcasts. Can you believe it's already October? Where has this year gone? September went like that, and now we're already in the last quarter of the year, which means people are going to get real checked out real soon. We're what? 4 weeks away from Halloween. Then 3 weeks away after that, it's Thanksgiving, and then it's already Christmas time. People are probably already putting up their Christmas lights. Forget respecting the turkey or respecting the pumpkin. People want to have a little joy in their lives, and if you want to decorate early, that's fine with me. It's funny to look back at this year because for me, this year has had a lot of travel in it, but it hasn't had any real new travel. At the beginning of the year, I celebrated New Year's in Santa Fe, New Mexico, which I highly recommend. It was magical. The MLK break, we took a weekend trip to Carmel. That was wonderful. Perfect. There is no bad time of year to be in Carmel by the sea. It's a little pricey, but it was a really good time. In February, we spent a week in Dallas because my second niece was being born, and we wanted to help babysit the first niece while they were in the hospital. And this is the thing. This is the first year that I've really been able to, and I'm so thankful to everyone that I work with, take advantage of the fact that I can work remotely occasionally. I do this show remotely every day, but every once in a while, for maybe a week here or a week there, I take this setup that I'm talking out of right now and I bring with me to New Mexico or to Dallas. So I've been able to spend a lot of time not at home. And I've only taken a handful of days and a week off for my birthday for actual vacation. But I feel like I have traveled a lot. And I love that. And I love being able to do this show and the John Phillips Show from my in-laws' house in Dallas or from my in-laws' house in Santa Fe. That's some really, really enjoyable times because, sure, I'm working for the 3 hours of the midday show, prep, and then the 1 hour of this show. But the rest of the time, I'm enjoying a different city. I'm enjoying the great food of Dallas or the incredible food and the incredible walking of Santa Fe. It's a good time. In May, we started, which was pretty much just the summer tour season where Memorial Day week, we spent a week in Santa Fe, and that was magical. And what's great about that is I can go out there for the week, and I've got that 1 day off for the holiday, and I work 4 days. It's great. Sometimes I'll take an extra day off just so I have something more fun to do, but we did that. In Juneteenth week, once again, had 2 holidays that time, and went to Dallas for a week to hang out with the nieces, and that was great because middle June is like the only time of the year where it's actually pool weather in Dallas. So in between shows, I was just hanging out in the pool all day. I got my wife's old river tubes out, and I was just hanging out in the pool in between doing talk shows. So that was a good time. 4th of July week, went back to Santa Fe because that is a wonderful place to spend the 4th of July, and I love it there. And then, of course, I took the week off for my birthday, and that was the first week of August, and I was completely off. Didn't even bring my laptop or my microphone, and it was a wonderful time. I've told you all about it. I haven't been anywhere since then. I haven't done any traveling since then, and boy, am I getting the itch. Now, when I originally was planning out this year, the thought was, since I turned 40 in August, that would be a great time to finally jet set across the world, get to Europe, which I've never done before. In fact, I think I did a show on this show like a year and a half ago talking about where should I go for my 40th birthday. But a couple of things came into sight for me. One, my birthday's in August, and Europe's a terrible place to be in August. It's be very hot, and a lot of things are closed. So that didn't seem like a great idea. Also, with all the economic uncertainty that's out there, it kind of made sense to go to the places where we know we can have fun and not spend a whole lot of money and, pay off debts, put some money in savings for unexpected things that come up. Like I had a, surprise $3,000 vet bill a few weeks ago, but I've been saving, so it didn't hurt too bad. It hurt a little. But now we're getting close to the end of the year. I've got a Santa Fe trip coming up in a week. I'll be working from there, except taking one day off so I can, enjoy. The thing is, when you work in a place like Santa Fe, I can work there, but I have a rule. I'm not having any drinks at lunch. I'm not having any drinks at happy hour. I don't have a drink until I am completely off of work. So if I want to day drink or go to brunch, I should take a day off. So that'll be my next week. Not next week, the week after. Next week, I'm filling in for Johnny. So that's a whole thing. So a week in October, Santa Fe. Another week in November, Thanksgiving, we always do Santa Fe there. I will be taking that week off because it's like, if you get the Friday and the Thursday off for paid holidays, you take 3 days off and it's like you actually have a vacation. So I always do that. I really like to maximize on my paid holidays and making sure if I use vacation days, use them around that to really create something. But for the last few months, I have been nonstop thinking about what do I want to do at the end of the year? Because this is a unique situation where my wife's schedule and my schedule have aligned in that at the end of the year, the week of Christmas and the week of New Year's, we're both off. We are both completely dark, as they say in the industry. We're not working whatsoever. And typically what we do is we go to Dallas for Christmas. Last year we went to Santa Fe for New Year's. We've done New Year's in a whole lot of different places. But I have been accumulating a ridiculous amount of airline miles. I have like 300,000 Alaska points. I've got like 100,000 Chase points on one of my cards. And even though we're trying to be frugal and we're trying to save money, I came up with this idea. And I don't know if it's going to work. And if it doesn't, and it's not possible, that's fine, because we'll go to Dallas. Maybe we'll go back to Santa Fe and we'll have a lovely time. But the thought that I had was, because we've spent a lot of time with my wife's family this year, it's not going to hurt too bad if we miss Christmas. The thought that I have is, what if, since I'm completely not working, my wife's completely not working, and I have all these airline miles, what if that's the time? That's the time where I finally get to Europe to do the end of the year in a foreign country. I've never done that, and I'm very curious about it. So here's my plan, and it's very open-ended, because if you try to plan something like this a year out, maybe you'll see some seats available. If you try to play this 6 months out, when I came up with this idea, you're not going to see any availability for anything. But I remember, because I spend a lot of time scrolling through the different reward sites, just checking to see where my Alaska miles can take me. I remember last year, around the holidays, in between Thanksgiving and New Year's, just seeing Any last minute deals popping up? Any at all? Like, what if we didn't care what the country was that we flew to? We could obviously, once we're in Europe, not saying it has to be Europe. I'm also open to Japan, Australia. There's a whole lot of the world I haven't seen, but Europe seems like a great idea. And like, whatever the country is, maybe you get to Paris first. Maybe you get to Amsterdam. Maybe you get to London. Although for some reason, when you fly into London, like there's so many of these flights are like, okay, yes, here, it's going to be 50,000 miles plus $1,000 in taxes. And that's not what the points are for. I'm trying to do this. The whole point is I'm trying to take a trip where we spend money on food and drink, but all the lodging and all the air travel is paid for with all the points we've been accumulating. So if a last minute deal comes up, like for instance, when I track this, it looks like there's a lot of last minute flights on Aer Lingus, which is one world. You can go LAX to Dublin. And I'd love to be in Dublin. And then once you're in Dublin, I'm sure you can get around everywhere else. But I've never done this before. In practice, maybe it's a terrible idea. I've never done huge international travel around Christmas time. I've done plenty of flying to Dallas on Christmas time. I've done that many, many, many years now, for over a decade. And we deal with it. And we try not to fly on the busiest days. Except, you know, when we get stuck in Dallas because of the whole Southwest meltdown. So I don't know if this is going to work, but my dream scenario is around November, I see some crazy deal pop up. I've even got all of these potential routes on one of these websites called seats.aero where it'll tell me if availability comes out. But I think a few weeks ahead, maybe. It does, if we don't care where the country is that we start, and we've got 2 weeks, so we can maybe pop around to 2 or 3 different countries, experiencing Christmas time and New Year's, if we stay that long, I don't know. I'm sure the flights back on January 2nd are crazy. But experiencing the holidays in a foreign country just sounds really interesting to me. And I don't know if we're going to have this opportunity next year where we're both off for 2 weeks at the end of the year. So I know we have a lot of people listening that they've done a lot of traveling in their lives. Maybe you've got big trips you've got planned this year. I'd love to hear from you. If you have done the holidays in another country, whether that's in Europe, Asia, doesn't matter. You know, and I'm talking about not just what it was like in the country, but also the traveling experience. Was it a good time? Was it hectic and stressful? If you've traveled internationally for the holidays, Christmas, New Year's, what have you, Hanukkah, give me a call at 800-222-KABC. 1-800-222-5222. If you've got a country you want to recommend to fly to for the holidays, I'm open to suggestions. I'm pretty much going to go wherever the flight is cheapest that I can go business class. Although I'm losing so much weight, I might not need business class. But still, I've got the points. It'd be nice to fly there business class, fly home premium economy. You know, we can go coach when we're bumping around from country to country. Love the idea of maybe taking a train somewhere. But I've been looking at all these videos of all these countries that do these Christmas markets, like in Germany or Belgium. I've never been to any of this. And I've been so good with eating and drinking. I feel like I can really let loose, really enjoy myself if this is a good idea. And I don't know if it is. So that's why I'm opening the phones to you right now at 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. Have you traveled internationally for the holidays? What's that like? And you got a country you recommend to hang out during Christmas time. 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. Just looking for some advice here, because if I get a bunch of calls saying that this is a terrible idea, I'll go ahead and book my tickets to Dallas. But I love the idea of it's open-ended. The country we start at is literally the one that has a deal. And then we're in Europe and we can enjoy ourselves. And there's so much I want to see. Love to spend some time in Spain. Love to spend some time in Italy. But I feel like once I rip the Band-Aid off and I do this once, it'll be much easier mentally to grasp we need to do this all the time. So I think this is the time. I think this is the year to do it. And I am saving up and I am being as healthy as I can be to be ready for this trip if it happens. So if you've traveled internationally for the holidays, tell me what that's like. Is it a great idea? Is it stressful as hell? And what are some great countries to visit around Christmas time? If you've done it, give me a call right now. 800-222-KABC. 1-800-222-5222. Give me some advice on my Christmas time travel plans. Let's start with Linda in Torrance. Linda, hello.
Hi, Randy. So I love all my family's from Ireland, and I go there for Christmas every time I can. But take that trip to Dublin, then take the ferry to England, then take the Channel to France or go to France and then hit Germany, Switzerland, wherever you want. It's, just do it.
That sounds like a fantastic idea. I love the very different kinds of travel. That would be very interesting to me. So you've spent a lot of Christmases in Dublin. What's that like?
It's wonderful. Maybe 2 years ago, it did lightly snow. It dusted. It was done by the morning, but perfect. You felt like it's cold, but it's bearable cold, and it's wonderful. There's Christmas markets. They get all into Christmas. I think around December 8th it starts, and it's just wonderful. It feels like an old world Christmas. The pubs are always happy, and everybody's having their Christmas parties. Great time. Fabulous in Dublin at the holidays. And then Grafton Street is all lit up with lights. It's gorgeous. But it's really fun just to hop on the ferry over to London, although it would be a little bit cold. If you can get the ferry over to London and go from there, Channel into France. Mm-hmm.
That sounds like a really, really good time. And that's the flight I'm looking at the most, because that's the flight that looked like it had the best deals last holiday season, is that LAX to Dublin on Aer Lingus that I can book through Alaska or American. So if I can get that would be a perfect first start to this trip.
Go to England and Scotland, but I would even just stay a week in Ireland, go hit out the west coast into County Kerry, see the cliffs of Moher. It's just wonderful. I would do it all.
You are making me inspired right now. Why can't it be December already? Thanks so much for the call, Linda. Right? Have a great weekend.
You too. Thanks.
800-222-KABC is the phone number, 1-800-222-5222. I've got the travel bug, and my current plan, if it works out, is to travel the last 2 weeks of the year to Europe, maybe somewhere else, but wherever the best flight deal takes me, that's where we're going to go. And we're going to plan a trip completely last minute. If you've traveled internationally for the holidays, what was that like? Was it crazy? Was it a fantastic time? Am I completely insane? And if you got a great Christmas country, a place you've been to for the holidays, tell me all about it. Anywhere in the world. I'm open to ideas. 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. If you're on hold, stay on hold. We're going to get to all your calls next. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on Talk Radio 790 KABC. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on KABC. We're taking your phone calls at 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. I want to travel internationally this holiday season. I've never done it before. And if you've done it, you've been to a country during Christmas time, tell me what that's like. Tell me a great country that you visited during Christmas time. Let's go to the phones and go to Scott in Manhattan Beach. Scott, hello.
Hey, Randy, how's it going?
Doing great.
Yeah, so a couple of years ago, I went on a trip to Japan over for Christmas and New Year's. I got to tell you, it was magical. The lights were beautiful. They definitely celebrate Christmas in Japan. Maybe not like Ireland, but the food was great. Everything was inexpensive, super low-key. Travel was easy. Highly recommended.
I want to go to Japan so badly. I'm obsessed with Japanese food, Japanese culture. Tokyo looks like such a cool time. My brother's been like 3 times. I'm so jealous. And I have a friend that went around Christmas time and New Year's a couple of years ago, and she did like a spa tour in the mountains and went to like Kyoto where it's snowing and steaming, and like, wow, that sounds like a good time.
Oh, yeah, we saw the snow monkeys, went to Osaka, Hiroshima, Kyoto, Osaka, Tokyo, all the way north. The food, you just, find a small street, walk down it, and find a restaurant, and it's going to be amazing, most likely.
Oh, I'm going to be looking at Japan deals just as much as I'm looking at going to Europe deals for this trip. That sounds like a great time. Thanks so much for the call, Scott. Appreciate it. If you're on hold, stay on hold to get right back to your calls. 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. Call me if you've traveled internationally for the holidays. Tell me what that's like and tell me a great country you visited around Christmas time that you would recommend. 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on KABC. It is the News Blitz with Randy Wang on Talk Radio 790 KABC. We're here every single day from 5 to 6 talking about the local issues that matter to you most. But today, we're talking about my hypothetical travel plans because I am thinking about going to Europe, maybe somewhere else the last 2 weeks of the year. I've got it off. My wife's got it off. I've never done this before, traveled internationally during the holidays. If you've traveled internationally over the holidays, tell me what that's like. Tell me a country you'd recommend. 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. I'm literally going to find a last-minute deal, and that's where I'm going. Let's go to Michael in Seal Beach. Michael, hello.
Hey, how are you, Randy?
Doing great.
So my wife and I have done it a couple times. We've gone to Europe a couple times. We always fly into Charles de Gaulle. My recommendation is wherever you fly into, hang out for a couple days and get acclimated in terms of the time change. And then you can travel around. A couple of things. Europe is very different because they don't have sales. They don't have the same commercialism you have here, especially in Los Angeles. So that's going to be kind of a shock to the system. It's difficult to travel like right before, like a week before Christmas because everybody's going home. It's hard to arrange last-minute travel plans at that point in time. We spent our Christmas in Europe because I have family there. In Germany because I have family there. And Germany is kind of, if I were to recommend a country, I would not recommend Germany for Christmas just because families get together and just because the way Germans are. We had a great time in Italy. And Italy has really dressed up their cities. It's really, really beautiful. The Christmas season kind of lasts till mid-January. And you really, really get the sense of the season. The people are wonderful. The climate is a little bit better. The temperatures are a little bit better in Italy. And where we stayed we would stay in Agriturismos. So we would go to Tuscany, and we would stay in wineries. And so we had a great time. We absolutely enjoyed it. The food was great. The hospitality was great. I would highly recommend it.
Italy is on my bucket list if there ever was one. That sounds like a great time. Great advice. And thank you so much, Michael. Appreciate it. 800-222-KABC is the phone number. If you've traveled internationally for the holidays, tell me all about it. Am I in over my head here? Is this a crazy idea, or have you done it? Where have you gone? Let's go to Robert in Fullerton. Robert, hello.
Hey, Randy, how are you?
Doing great.
I am doing fabulous. So, Cozumel, Mexico, you can get flights out of LAX. They connect on American. They connect through Dallas. On Delta, they connect through ATL Atlanta directly to Cozumel, Mexico. We've been for the past 6 years. The weather is absolutely fabulous. It's between 78 and 88 degrees. The festivities for Christmas are incredible. The people are great. The food is good. The weather is good. The water is warm. You don't have none of that sargass or seagrass stuff on the shore because the climate isn't as hot in December, January, and February. So the water is just amazing. The food, the people, and we're going again this year, Randy. Why don't you join us?
Wow.
Intercontinental.
That sounds like a really incredible time. So Cozumel, that's that little island off of Cancun?
Yes, and you can get cheaper flights. You can fly from LAX to Cancun direct and then get private transportation, which I like to order private transportation instead of taking a taxi, and it's about $70 Cancun to the ferry in Playa del Carmen. The ferry's about $12 a person. It's a 33-minute little boat ride. You get over to the island, and it's about $10 for a taxi to any hotel on the island. The food is amazing. Randy, the festivities, the live music, the fireworks show on New Year's. It's amazing. Amazing. We leave on the 23rd this year.
That sounds like a party. I'm so happy for you. I'm glad you're doing that every year, and you inspired me to look that up. That sounds like a great time, Robert.
Thank you. And I'm a huge fan of yours. I listen to you every day. You and Motec are my 4 to 6.
Love to hear that. Thank you so much, Robert. Appreciate the call. Oh, boy. If I had the itch before this show, now it's the full-on scratch. I have got to. As much as I love my Santa Fe, and I'm still going to go there 2 more weeks this year, it is time to go international. Cozumel. Sounds incredible. You know, outside of 3 hours in Tijuana when I was 18, I've never really spent much time in Mexico. I need to do something about that. Especially really want to, learn more about the tequila region because I love tequila. Yeah. Let's go to Brent in Los Angeles. Brent, hello.
Hi, Randy. How are you?
Doing great.
I'm wondering if I'm off base with this one, but I think the most significant, profound, and meaningful country you can go to would be Israel. And it might not offer all the fun that you're looking for in the other places, in Mexico and what else, but it is the deepest, the most profound, the most transcendent, and today, I think, the most important place to be. I think it'd be an incredible opportunity.
Oh, gosh, I can't even imagine what that's like to be in Jerusalem for Christmas.
Whenever I'm Jewish, so when I've been there mostly for the Jewish holidays, and the others I didn't notice as much because it's been many years since I was there. But I'd imagine now with all the Christian tour groups that you would have a whole lot of opportunities.
Yeah, I'm sure that does sound very, very, very interesting. And how's the weather in Israel in December?
It's chilly, and so you better Google all those details or the AAA. But it can get quite cold. It can get to freezing in Jerusalem, but it's usually clear and beautiful.
Well, it sounds like a great time, Brent. Thanks so much for letting us know about it. Thank you. 800-222-KABC is the phone number. If you've traveled internationally for the holidays, tell me what that's like and tell me where you've been. If you got a place you want to recommend, I want to go somewhere. Don't know where yet. Might depend on who has the best deal, but I gots to go. Let's go to Harry in Woodland Hills. Harry, hello.
Hello, a great show today. Listen, I wanted to share with you, we decided as a family, the four of us, to go, my 20-year-old, 24-year-old, we went to Australia on a 2-week tour, and it was really fun because the longest day of the year here in California, Los Angeles, was June 21st, and then I get to do it again, the longest day of the year in Australia, which is December 21st, and I have some great pictures in Melbourne. You know, it's just lovely there. Everything's so low key, and the dollar was pretty strong, like 20% stronger. And also, everybody is very relaxed, and tourism is not really their business. When you are traveling, you're just like a regular person. People aren't looking at you trying to sell you a timeshare or trying to that sort of thing. Anyway, I wanted to share that with you, and I think you should try Australia. That'd be nice.
I love everything about Australia. My wife has wanted to go to Australia for years and years and years. Where do you fly into from Los Angeles for that?
We flew into Melbourne, and then we went from the south of Melbourne where they have the penguin exhibit at this island. And then we went all the way up to the Great Barrier Reef. And my son said, "Dad, you're so cool. You're taking me to the Great Reefer?" Well, that's my joke.
That sounds like a great time. What's the food like in Australia?
Bland, and it's also honestly, it's not like going to a Morton's or a steakhouse and we did have Indian food, and it's very it's close to Asia basically, and there's a lot of other cultures there that have restaurants all over the place. But as far as the idea that you'd go to Outback here in Los Angeles versus having a similar steakhouse experience there is not the case. And kangaroo does not taste that great either, by the way.
I think I was going to pass on the kangaroo, but that is definitely on my list. I love the idea of going to Australia. I love the idea of going to somewhere that's summer while it's winter and vice versa. Harry, thank you so much for the call. Appreciate the suggestion. 800-222-KABC is the phone number, 1-800-222-5222. I'm thinking at the end of the year of traveling internationally for the holidays. Don't know where yet, so I'm taking suggestions. If you've traveled for internationally for the holidays, tell me what that was like and tell me where you've been. 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on Talk Radio 790 KABC. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on KABC. Let's get back to the phones on international trips for the holidays. Let's go to Stan in Orange. Stan, hello.
Hey, Mr. Wang. I'm kind of breaking the rules here because I'm going to tell you about a place I have not been to yet, but I want to go there. I was on a cruise in the Baltic last May up in Finland, and they were telling me, and I subsequently read about it and did some follow-up, there's a little town up in the way north of Finland. It actually is on the Arctic Circle. It's called Rovaniemi. I don't speak Finlander very good, but it starts with an R, Rovaniemi. It's the official home of Santa Claus, the self-proclaimed official home of Santa Claus, and they have a Christmas village there. They celebrate year-round, but they say it's the best time to go is between Christmas and New Year's. It's just fabulous. I mean, it's cold because it's up on the Arctic Circle, but it's beautiful scenery and decorations and all sorts of interesting Christmassy type things to do. And I'm going to go there. Maybe not this December, but maybe next December, because the locals were really talking it up, and that could be the Chamber of Commerce talking it up very well too, but it just seems like kind of a fascinating place to go.
Oh, that sounds super fun. I think Finland looks like such a good time. And yeah, it's cold, but you've got the, you've got the whole sauna culture there and people in the tubs and staying warm. And I've heard people in Finland are so friendly. And the idea of Christmas villages, it gets me and my wife very excited. That sounds like so much fun. Places that have Christmas villages, places that have holiday markets.
Oh, yeah. I was impressed by Finland. I want to go back there. It was very nice up there. And we say sauna's wrong. They call it sauna. You got to carry a long A when you do that, I guess.
Well, hopefully someday I'll get to check out the saunas in Finland. I love it, Stan. Thanks so much. If you take that trip, you write in and tell me all about it. Thanks so much for the call. Appreciate it. Hey, look at this, everyone. 790 KABC welcomes Some Like It Hot at the Segerstrom Hall in Orange County, October 7th through the 19th. Tickets on sale now at scfta.org. But right now, caller number 9 at 1-888-790-5222 gets a pair of tickets to the show on October 8th. Tickets furnished by the Segerstrom Center for the Arts in beautiful Costa Mesa. Good luck dialing. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on KABC. Thomas writes in at randykabc@gmail.com. Traveling at the holidays is no problem at all. I've traveled dozens of times. London, Spain, Tahiti, Puerto Rico. Have a great time. I actually got married in Edinburgh over the Christmas holiday. Wow, that sounds incredible. Scotland on the list. I went to Puerto Rico in May of last year, and I remember how many people in San Juan said, oh, you got to be here at Christmas time. I bet that's a really, really good time. And I did fall for the Puerto Rican cuisine. It was really great. So those all sound like great. You know, I love the idea of London. I really do. And I think London is definitely going to be involved in the trip if that's the place that we depart from. The thing that I just don't understand, and I haven't booked a lot of international travel, but, you know, I've got a lot of Alaska points. They're One World, so I can book anything that's American or One World through Alaska. And if you start looking at prices when it comes to points, because that's what I'm trying to do here, not trying to break the bank. I've been, you know, I use all my credit cards for everything, then I pay them off in full, so I have a bunch of points to travel with. Living the dream. But when you start looking at flights of LAX to London, if you fly an American Airlines flight from LAX to London, like to Heathrow, you just pay whatever the points are. But if it's British Airways or Virgin Airlines, I guess because they are British carriers, they charge you all of these taxes, and it goes up. Like if it's for a coach ticket, I think it's like $100. For premium economy, it's like $300. But if you're trying to book, again, on points where you're not trying to use cash, a British Airways flight from LAX to Heathrow, it shows you that the taxes and fees on that one-way ticket per person are like $900. That's a lot of money. So I don't know if London, like if I can skip that by flying to Dublin first and then go in Dublin to London on that ferry, maybe that's the way to go. Also, I've been looking a lot at flying into France. Flying into Charles de Gaulle looks great. Apparently, you can fly direct there on Air Tahiti. So I'm looking at that. That might be a possibility. The real question that I have to decide as I get closer to this, if we really want to pull the trigger and make this happen, is once we see the availability of the business class seats, is that really worth it? If there's a bunch of availability, it's probably worth it. But if there isn't a bunch of availability and the best we could do is premium economy, probably should just do it, right? I mean, I think the most important thing is getting there. And if I keep waiting for the perfect ticket to just magically appear, I'm just never going to get there. But I will keep you posted, as this is something, when I am not Zillow scrolling for homes in Santa Fe, I am constantly on Alaska Airlines' website looking at routes to get to Europe this holiday season. I thank you so much for all of your suggestions. I take them to heart, and I will report back to you when I know what this trip is going to be and when I've taken this trip, because I'll be off for 2 weeks. Thank you all so much for listening. You ever miss an episode of the show? KABC.com/newsblitz is where you go. I'm in for Johnny all next week, and I did today, so you can download all those podcasts as well. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on KABC.